All right, it is Mail Call Thursday. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. Odds are, if you're hearing this, there's no need for an introduction because you know who we are in the sense of this is just to answer your questions. But if you are one of the few random people that just found this floating around the internet, consider sticking around because we are answering listener questions, which always leads to some interesting conversation. And we are a podcast about any and everything from The Walking Dead to conspiracy theories to horror stories to video games. I mean, we really just kind of run the gauntlet on different types of podcasts. So check out our channel and consider subscribing. And if nothing else, just give this video a like because it helps us out a ton. We'll talk about social media and Patreon after the podcast. But as always, JP has got the questions in his hand. Mm-hmm. And JP, you ready to go?
Yeah, ready when you are, pal.
Yeah, man. Let's get the first one.
All right, 6 days ago, Heidi L. has a question for us. What are the trends that never should have been? I don't really care about fashion, but there are some things you just can't unsee. Like shoulder pads on women's clothes in the 80s made them look like football players.
Yeah.
And that horrible, very light pink lipstick looking like a blow-up doll has never been sexy. Very wide pants.
Says you. Have you ever been lonely, Heidi? Some blow-up dolls be looking good, but anyways, continue.
All right. Very wide pants from the 70s. I guess they thought they would help them fly in case they wanted to do that after taking acid. Beehive hair from the 60s.
It's good to have that assurance, you know. When you're on acid, you never know when you might fall off of a high object.
Gotta have that safety net. From the beehive hair from the 60s was one bottle of hairspray enough. I'm surprised their hair didn't fall off. Maybe not bees, but something was probably living inside those things. And one of the worst, Crocs. No explanation on this one, just no. I got Crocs. They're practical. They keep me from stumping my toes. I don't wear them out in public like talking about, but
I don't really like Crocs either, but I agree with you. They are practical. I mean, like I don't own any regular, like the Crocs that you see all the people around here wearing, like the camouflage ones with socks and stuff. But I do have a pair of Crocs. They're called Swiftwaters, I think. But they're what I wear when I go kayaking. But those look more like water shoe sandal hybrids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, Crocs. I don't like them either, but I do see the convenience. I mean, like if you're going out to do some yard work or you just run into the store real quick, it's just probably nice to slide them on and go, but that's why I have some Vans that I wear that are just slip-on, like no laces. I just slide my foot in and go. But yeah, the people with the hair, the beehive hairdos, man, like whenever somebody's like, oh, you shouldn't use hairspray and hair products to make your hair fall out early, I'm like, have you seen Janet? Have you seen the pictures of Janet back in the 60s? Yeah. And that woman, I mean, granted, her hair is really gray now, but she's still got all of her hair, so, they really tested the waters with what your hair can endure in hair products because, my God, at the amount of hairspray that had to go into that.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I know like trends when I was coming up, like just the super spiky hair, just like the super wet look, where it's just like freaking almost like Bart Simpson kind of spikes, man. And I'm not saying I didn't do it. I did some weird stuff with hair gel when I was like in middle school.
Frosted tips were another.
Yeah, that was another one. I did
all of these things.
Right. Yeah.
I had the spiky, wet looking hair. I had the frosted tips. And then as I got older, I started getting away from the wet look and started going for products that had more like the natural look.
Right,
so you had a spike. And then as I got older, I got out of the spike and just went to kind of like the gentleman's cut where you trim the sides and you pull it back. But yeah, what's funny is half of the things that I will say are things that I did,
Yeah, man, I had very few like experiments with the hair gel. I was just like, I don't like how like crunchy it feels. So I just went back to just parting it. And
well, that stuff will make your face break out.
I love it.
You part it? So you had a parted haircut at one point?
Yeah, just the way my hair lies, I would just kind of like comb it to the side. Just have like a cool like little like Richie Cunningham type haircut.
Oh, man, I would love to see that.
Yeah, man, unfortunately, I can't really do anything with it now because it's no longer there. But, and other stuff, man, just like the tall tees and like the pants sagging like way past the ass.
And I'm scared. I'm sad to admit that I wore the clothes that were way too big. Like, I remember being in like middle school, being this like little 120, 30-pound kid wearing a size XL T-shirt and these, pants that were like 2 inches too big in the waist. And I roll my eyes at it. I'm like, why did I ever think that was a good look? But at least I have a little. I know everybody dressed like that. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like just me, but I thought the big baggy shirts were. It's funny, as I got older and got thicker, my shirt size went down.
Yeah, but you didn't have like a straight up like tall tee though, did you?
I mean, no, I would, no. They weren't designer tall tees. They would just like, I'd go buy like American Eagle shirt, large. But I would wear like an XL.
Yeah, they were strange times, man. Strange times. I remember for a while it was a thing, like all the dudes, and I don't know if this was just regional or what, but they would turn their tall tees inside out, so you'd see like the the tag on the back or the brand on the back, and I don't know, man.
I never did that, but one thing that I did do that I will not do now is I used to wear white T-shirts under everything. Mm-hmm. So, like now I go buy shirts that fit, and the thought of the hot summer and wearing 2 shirts is miserable, but I used to wear like a white undershirt under probably because the XLs were so big and the neck was so big, it was the only way not to have my collarbones hanging out of my shirt, but...
Yeah, I'll double layer sometimes. It just depends on the shirt and, like you said, the temperature outside. Because some shirts, man, the material, you get to sweating and it's almost like it clings to your skin, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes I do like that extra just layer. But, yeah, Heidi, a lot of weird trends, and they're keeping coming, just.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what kids today will look back on. Like, as an adult, what trends are out today that you think are really stupid?
Well, man, like male crop tops. I mean, you don't see a lot of them around here, but that is something that's trying to trying to get rolling.
They are a thing.
If you got the abs for it, do your thing. I mean,
don't do your thing. Even with the abs, you don't. I
mean, if you got it, flaunt it.
You don't need it, but yeah. So the list goes on and on. My list is pretty much the same as JP's. The crunchy, wet-looking hair, the fro, and then like the spikes. We didn't even spike it in a way that looked like your hair was spiky. It was always like individual little spikes.
Very weird, yeah.
And the frosted tips and the T-shirts that were way too big. And I didn't bust crazy sags, but my pants hang. I mean, I was more of like a. Like, I played baseball and stuff, but I also really like skateboarding. So my bagginess was more like a Bam Margera inspired, which not saying he wore like huge clothes, but he'd bust a sag sometimes and stuff, and it looked so stupid.
Dude, there were some guys I remember seeing, it defied the laws of physics, how their pants were just not dragging, were not on the floor, how they stayed on
under their butthole, but around their legs.
The whole ass is out.
Yeah.
I still can't figure it out.
I never got that bad. Plus, my dad was kind of an Army heart. I mean, he was in the Army, which doesn't, I say that I don't mean to sound like he was a drill instructor, but my dad's like a manly, Army guy who's a country guy. So he's like, pull your like if I went home, oh man, and pants got pulled up, the belt got tightened, and then my buddy Joey's dad, Perry. Did not play that snit neither. He wouldn't even, if you came in the house with the hat on backwards, he won't having it.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of things I'm sure we're glad to leave in the past. All right, next up is Kim Younger. 6 days ago, mail call. If you could be a cartoon character for a week, who would you be? Hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope we do too.
Yeah, we hope we have a great weekend. We hope you have a great weekend too. Mm-hmm. Let's see, Kim Younger. What cartoon character would we? What cartoon you'd want to be? Ren or Stimpy, right?
I don't know about that, man. Stimpy got slapped around quite a bit.
Don't tell me you're not into that.
Well, under the right circumstances, maybe.
I would love to be like Spider-Man from the '90s cartoon, or either like Wolverine from the '90s cartoon.
Yeah.
I always picture myself kind of as Doug Funny, too, because I used to have a really active imagination, so I could really relate to the taking very subtle things and making them into like these big adventures in your head and stuff.
I think I would pick Zap Brannigan from Futurama. I think I'd go with him, man. He's bold, he's confident, he's getting butt. I'd go with Zap Brannigan from Futurama.
I don't know. I guess it's not so much who do you if you could be, who would you? I guess it's who would you want to be?
Yeah,
I'd want to be Goku from Dragon Ball Z. The hell with that.
Just all powerful?
Hell yeah. Right. I'm Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Thank you so much for your question, Kim.
Yeah, I think you have to put some more thought into that, too. There's a lot to choose from. Jeez Louise. Chris, 6 days ago, is there a date you guys think you're going to be able to turn this podcast into a video one?
We'd like to have it going by the end of the year, I think was kind of the goal we had set.
Yeah, I mean, we not an exact date. We're just kind of chipping away at it, and
we need to get a nice camera. But see, the first thing we're going to spend the money from we want to get a couple of $100 built up on the Patreon before we cash out, and then we want to take that and buy merch to give back to you guys. And then after we've done that, because we feel like it's only fair, you guys put in money to the Patreon. The first thing we spend the money on is a way to say thank you for making this possible. So after we do that and we build up some more money, we really need a nice camera, or we really would like to have two nice cameras so that we could have like almost a split screen, like JP's screen, my screen, and then edit them side by side. But if worse come to worst, man, by the end of the year, we'll just start using my MacBook camera. That's built in the webcam. It's a decent camera.
Right.
So if nothing else, we can do that.
Between that and, our phones or whatever, we could make it work. It wouldn't look the best, but it'd get us by for the time being.
Yeah, so hopefully by then, and if nothing else, we might start doing maybe instead of all, because we're going to continue, we're also on Spotify and iTunes and soon iHeartRadio and Podbean. I was going to get us on Podbean last night, but I stayed up too late editing that Mandela Effect podcast, but which is why it's all edited until like the last 10 minutes, and then it just goes to one picture because it got so late. And I was like, man, I have to get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning. But if nothing else, maybe we'll start doing like one or two video podcasts a week, which will be, a little bit easier to do until we get like a super nice camera. But yeah, by the end of the year, you'll have some video podcasts.
Yep, there we go. So thank you, Chris, and we will keep you posted.
Chris is awesome. He always leaves us a lot of really nice comments, Chris. We really appreciate it. And don't think, I'm terrible with names, but don't think we don't remember every person who's like super, super awesome in the comment section.
For sure. Like Create Till Death, another great one, a patron, says, yes, do some Walking Dead comic videos. We'll keep that in mind. Norwal Music was planning on playing some video games, but got hooked on watching our videos. That's awesome. Thank you, Norwal Music. Cisco Puentes says,
thinks you are a cutie.
Yeah, says if that's me on the right, I'm effing cute. And to keep up the great work, well, Cisco, I thank you much. And I'm sure you're a handsome man as well. And, keep on listening. And maybe I will.
Oh, wow. You just read it, but I was kind of like monitoring. We got another board issue that I'm trying to make sure doesn't bleed into the podcast. But he says amazing stuff. I don't know that we've been described a lot of different ways, and I don't know that amazing is one of them.
Yeah, man.
So, man,
that gave us a 100, a flame, and a diamond.
That is awesome. Thank you, Norwal.
And thank you for being so sweet, Cisco.
Yeah, JP's a cutie.
Yeah, it's a matter of perspective, I suppose, but I certainly like the compliments. Keep them coming. All right.
JP's like if only he sees it without the filter.
Oh, Lord. All right. Jeep, long-time listener, love Jeep. I suppose there is benefits from being able to go back to the past or the future. You could go back to the past and correct things you did, or go to the future and find out something you may do and be able to correct that before it happens. I would certainly grab several weeks' worth of Lotto numbers on my way back out the door from the future, though, because why not? While I was listening to the podcast, I was looking at some pictures of really cool houses people made from like old missile silos, buses, and one really cool one someone built out of an old airplane. Mail call. If you could reclaim an old thing like that and make it into something useful again, what would it be?
A missile silo would be really cool.
Yeah, I've seen those as well, like those doomsday bunker people. That is really cool.
I'd love to take like a couple of shipping containers. I mean, mine's much more simple thinking, but I wouldn't mind taking a couple of shipping containers.
Right.
And because, those things are super, super tough and strong, and like burying like a net, make like an underground hive of them, like, get several of them and, make levels with passageways to connect them. So you've just got this like hive of like Connex trailers, I guess is what they call them. But, shipping containers basically, but going underground and like, just have different rooms, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, man. I'd like to find like an old like World War II era like ship. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, but just like,
I love that movie.
Yeah, repurpose a ship like that just into like an adventure boat.
That's like prime Bill Murray.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites of his.
You know what? This is a little sentimental, and I won't get too sappy, but my grandma, my Nana, JP's got a granny Nana. I had a Nana. She loved lighthouses. Like, if you come to my house, there are a few things that are lighthouses. I don't really care much for lighthouses, but they were something that she really loved. I mean, she had a lot of lighthouse stuff at her house. I think it would be dope just in her memory to find like an old lighthouse and turn it into like a home or like maybe just a getaway, beach house or something. Just find an old lighthouse and renovate it and give it rooms and all of that. So I'm going to go with lighthouse, not shipping containers, lighthouse.
Yeah. Hey, why not do both? Have a network of shipping containers around your lighthouse.
Right. Or under the lighthouse. So the lighthouse is for luxury. And then if some snit hits the fan, we go underground to the shipping containers.
Underground, baby. Nothing better. All right. 6 days ago, Javier Marino, mail call for JP and Justin.
All righty.
What do you guys think about Area 51? Could the government be hiding things from us? And what type of stuff could they be hiding? The government's definitely hiding a lot of stuff from us, and not just at Area 51. That much I can tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that Area 51, I really don't know that I believe that there are aliens there. I truly believe they probably, after World War II, got some German technology and wanted to make it top secret. And I think that it really is just where they test some of their most advanced stuff, like aerial craft and such. And of course, they will kill you to keep you out because those are secrets they don't want to give to the enemy. Because didn't they say the Germans were experimenting with a disc-shaped aircraft?
They're doing a lot of weird stuff. But the big question is, do you think that this is technology that came from there? They reverse engineering something beyond this earth.
It could be. Now that could be what it is, but I don't know. I feel like it's just, it could be extraterrestrial in nature. But if that was the case, I really think it has something to do with German technology that they were reverse engineering because the Roswell incident happened in the early 50s. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't too long after World War II. So I feel like that was. And a lot of people speculate that the Nazis might have been using extraterrestrial technology. Oh, yeah. And that's a possibility. Maybe we got their technology, realized it wanted this Earth, and decided it was worth, keeping secret.
Yeah, man. I mean, Operation Paperclip, a lot of Nazi scientists. I mean, Werner von Braun, like in charge of the NASA stuff. I mean, he was a Nazi at one point.
Yeah. I think there's some it happened. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I said the 50s, man. The Roswell incident happened in 1947. That's just 2 years after World War II.
Yep.
I think it could have just been as simple as they had somebody was test flying this new technology, probably crashed and killed the pilots, and they tried to keep it real hush-hush, and it wasn't extraterrestrial so much as that they were trying to cover up that or that pilot or pilots were killed while using experimental aircraft.
Yeah, man. I think it was. I think they're definitely, because I can't remember the guy's name, but the big whistleblower who's been on a lot of documentaries.
Bob Lazar, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he says like it's almost like archaeological site that they're reverse engineering this stuff. I think that there's technology that's beyond our comprehension, that whether it came from a lost civilization thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, or whether they are communicating or even captured, entities not of this world, be they interplanetary, interdimensional. I really think that they communicate with entities beyond this plane of existence through DMT.
At Area 51, or are you just saying, I mean, I know you think that in general, but are you saying you think they do that at Area 51 as well?
Oh, yeah, man. I think the high up muckety mucks are still, doing this stuff and still communicating with entities who may or may not favor humanity. They may be giving us this stuff to, harbor our own destruction. You see what I mean? We're talking some diabolical stuff. I don't think they're all malevolent, but
I've got an open mind with Area 51. I need to watch more on it. But as far as like the little green men just walking around chilling, I don't know that I believe that. But like you said, now I'm not against the idea that they could be reverse engineering alien technology or something to that effect. But right now, I just think that it's more of, at least at the current time. Now, how it started, I don't know. But nowadays, I think it's that they're just testing some of their most advanced military technology. And, of course, to the governments of the world, that's worth killing to keep people out if you have to,
Yeah, man. And I always say I really think the government, technology-wise, is probably about 20 years more advanced than
I've always heard that.
Population has. So
yeah, I've always heard that.
One of those things we'll probably never know for sure, though.
Once we're dead.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. Corey Andros, 5 days ago. So I don't know if I had too many questions or some were too risque, but this is 2 weeks in a row. I sent a bunch of questions, and I guess you guys didn't see them. Did we?
We didn't. If you look, I asked him which videos he left it on. What was his answer? I'll pull them up real quick. I got the channel up now.
All right. Why aren't you guys answering my Walking Dead questions? LOL. We love you, Corey. We're not missing them on purpose.
I promise you we're not.
Yeah, all right.
Does he say where they were?
Not right here. Maybe in the replies, but he does have.
Let me see. Let me look into the replies real quick. Let's see. 3 replies. Where does he say? They were left on YouTube. Mail call number 38, he says. So let's go back 2 weeks and find Corey's questions.
Well, while you're looking for that, he does have one here. Have you guys seen Into the Badlands? I watched the first season and really liked it, but hadn't picked it up since. You never got into the Badlands.
I watched I watched some of it. I really dug it. It just wasn't coming on at a convenient time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have cable at the house.
Corey, I kid you not, brother. I do not see your question here anywhere on mail call number 38. I've pulled it up and I'm seeing like Dan Ashdown, Gage Waltner. Dan Ashdown, if you're listening, you haven't posted a question in a while, man. I need you to post a question. It's not cool not seeing you or Alex Jimenez or Gage Waltner in the comments section. Appalachian American, but I don't see you, Corey. So take those questions and post them in this mail call, and we will. I promise you, we'll answer them. I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, we're definitely not skipping questions or anything. So
No, I promise you. I
don't know, and there's never a question too risque. I mean, that's my bread and butter, brother. So
I didn't know that the seasons were on Netflix though, Corey. So I wanted to catch up with it. It just came on later. I love all that old like kung fu inspired stuff.
Because they've wrapped that up now, right? Is that
they wrapped it up, or they were wrapping it up? I know that this past season was the end.
Right.
I got my friend James, that you're very fond of. Mm-hmm. He that's like one of his favorite shows. He loves it.
I love the first season. I just need to get back on it.
But yeah, we'll definitely catch up on that.
Create Till Death 5 days ago. Mail call. What's your preference, movies or TV shows? Depends for me. I mean, there's a lot of good of both.
Probably TV shows. Well, I don't know. Movies in the sense that you can get a lot of better production and sequences, but TV shows, what's great is that if you really love it, it keeps going, much longer than you get out of a movie.
Yeah, man. For me, it just depends. I mean, I love both, and they're both kind of, I don't know.
Probably going to go with TV shows on that one.
Yeah. Prequels or remakes? There's too many of both right now.
Right, absolutely. I'll go with prequels, though, just because sometimes I think something's fine and you don't need to remake it.
Yeah, and at least you stay in that same continuity,
Right. Like, honestly, I would like for them to remake the last season of Game of Thrones, but not the show entirely.
Right.
So the prequel show is fine because it's a whole nother show, but they're like, we're remaking Game of Thrones. Like, don't.
Yeah.
Just remake the last season, and that's it.
All right. Coffee or tea? I'll take sweet iced tea over here.
Coffee.
Sandwiches or burgers? I'm getting a burger.
I'm getting a burger.
Yeah. Regular fries or sweet potato fries?
I hate sweet potatoes. Regular fries for me.
I like sweet potato fries, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to ask for just regular old fries, especially waffle fries.
Sweet potato pie and a shut in my mouth.
Yeah, there you go. White rice or fried rice? I'll take some fried rice.
Fried rice all day.
Chances are, if I have an option to fry something, I'm going to fry it.
We live in the South, man. We fry everything. We fry Oreos down here.
Yeah.
True story. You should try them. Fried Oreos with vanilla ice cream.
I've never had
Wonderful.
I don't think I have. Hat or no hat?
Hold on. Well, you know what? It's too late now. Say we should have done these like we did Cindy's questions, where we answer for each other. You pick hat. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
What do you think I pick?
I see you take care of your hair, but you also you're fond of hats.
Typically it's like I fix my hair up for work. Like I'll put some gel or something in it. But I mean, most of the time on the weekends, I've always got a hat.
Yeah. So with me, I actually hate hats, but just when you lose your hair, they're kind of necessary evils. So.
JP had his way; it'd be bandanas all day, every day.
Yeah, I do like bandanas, but when I had a lush full head of hair, I wasn't really messing with hats too much. But you get sunburn on your scalp, and it's no picnic.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, tie at a wedding or just a nice dress shirt with no tie. I'll take the tie. I think it ties the outfit together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really much on dressing up, but if I'm going to get dressed up, I'd rather just do it right. You know what I mean? Have the nice tie because, sometimes, I am a T-shirt and jeans guy all day, but sometimes it does feel nice to have the shirt and the vest and the tie and just feel like you look snazzy,
Yeah, for sure. Vampires or werewolves? Vampires way sexier. I'm going with the vampire.
Yeah, I'm going with vampires too. I'd much rather have sex with a hot female vampire than a hairy wolf.
Yeah, man, especially like a True Blood type vampire. Lord have mercy. King Kong or Godzilla? I'm going to go with King Kong. At least it's a mammal.
Me too. No, I'm going with King Kong because he was. I didn't really care much for Kong Skull Island. Was it you that didn't really like it either?
No, I loved it. I
wasn't that big on it, but I do think he was a beast. And God, he was humongous in that one. But I would probably rather be King Kong. Or I would rather pick King Kong.
Right. Create Till Death again 5 days ago. Mail call. How hopeful are you guys for the back half of Fear the Walking Dead and the new spinoff show? I'm already getting the same type of cheeseball vibes from the new show that I get from Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm getting worried that it's going to suck. I'll give it a shot for sure, but why don't they realize that everyone liked The Walking Dead because its dark, gritty, realistic vibe? The tone that Fear has is just not working for me.
I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. Fear the Walking Dead right now just feels like the ABC Family take on The Walking Dead. It'd be like if ABC Family was like, we're going to remake The Walking Dead. I feel like Fear the Walking Dead's last season, or at least this half of the season and the last half of last season, would be what you would get.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic for the back half of this season because the front half sucked.
It really did. Like, we try to be optimistic because we know nobody genuinely, anyone who likes the show enough to go online and look for people talking about it, odds are they don't feel like listening to somebody trash it or tell them they're stupid for liking it. So we try to keep it optimistic, but being real here right now, the first half of this season was awful. Like a waste of good acting, a waste of good characters, and too many characters. Some need to be taken out.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the show. That's what's so bad. I used to love it, and I haven't seen. Have they released a trailer for the new Walking Dead spinoff?
I think they've just released teasers. I don't think we've had any straight up trailers.
But I'm excited. You've heard people talk about doing the whatever Walking Dead novel was set in China, like doing a show based on that. It'd
be cool to see another part of the world.
Yeah, man. So we will see.
Some people thought that was going to be the twist, was like at the end of the show you'd find out it was just happening in America. Mm-hmm. Like the rest of the world had closed us all. Basically just, like they'd put a wall up between North and South America, and then, of course, I don't know, Canada would have a lot more trouble with that. But, basically they was going to pan out and you would realize America was the only country that was fully infected. The rest of the world was business as usual.
All right, Brianne McCann. She's you got rapid fire on us, and I love it. Okay, guys, as mail call cheerleader, she had a little horn thing there. Here are some questions to ensure some long-ass mail call for your listeners. If this is annoying, just let me know. What's the most useful item you own and why?
You are not annoying.
No, of course not.
Listeners like yourself are why we're continuing to do this and not just make it like the end of every episode. So, no, you keep them up. And also, JP, may I commend you on your trumpet sound effect? That was fantastic.
Was that all right? Which I know it's just like a bullhorn that people yell into, but I thought that was
great. So let's see. And so you asked the first question.
What's the most useful item you own and why?
What's your answer for that?
I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I use my phone more than anything. I mean, I talk on it, communicate. It tells me the temperature. I'm going
to say my MacBook just because it makes this podcast experience so much better.
Right.
Than having to rely on old, slow computers. I mean, it takes minutes to export the file, and if I'm going to edit it, editing is so much easier. So, I'll go with my MacBook.
Yeah.
Aside, unless we want to go more primal and be like my hunting rifle, because then I know that if I ever need it. But I mean, as far as what I'm using right now,
right, stuff you use
laptop.
like on a day-to-day basis, Anyway, Brianne McCann goes on to say, "What are some challenges you think the next generation will face?"
Sensitivity, man. I feel like stand-up comedians in the next 20 years are going to go extinct because you can't get on stage and crack a joke on anyone without people getting butthurt nowadays.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough time. For me, I think technology just merging with the singularity, the development of AI and just merging into your technology. You know, pretty soon I think it's going to be implanted into your freaking brain. You know.
Oh yeah, it'll start with like glasses, kind of like the Google Glass tried to do, and then it'll move to, hey, we can install this in your brain, and that's how they take over. But I think also too, social interactions are going to be a lot harder for the next generation because we're a world that is connected through the internet. We're not used to dealing with people as much face to face as past generations did. I mean, imagine back, you know, in the old days before you had mobile data and the internet and all of that. I mean, you had to actually go out and entertain yourself. You had to go to bars, you know, maybe where you didn't know anybody to meet people. You had to go out and know how to deal with people. So I think the next generation is going to have a little bit of trouble with the social interaction. I mean, that's not to say, I mean, I can definitely tell I've gotten a little more socially awkward. I used to be more of a social butterfly, but here in later years where I'm just used to seeing people through a screen, when I see them in real life, if I haven't seen them in a while, you know, I feel like past generations would have been like, how have you been? Oh my God. I'm more like, I mean, I know everything you've been doing and I don't feel like talking right now.
So, you know, I think they definitely got a lot ahead of them, but we'll see. What are some... Oh, I was reading the same one again. What is your favorite season, and could you live with it all year long if you could? I like autumn. I was born in autumn. It's you know, it's breezy, but I also, you know, spring's cool too because you can kind of start swimming some and fishing.
Being I'm a beach guy, I'm going to go with summer. But I mean, I acknowledge summer is hot and miserable if you're not out in the water. But during the winter months, especially around here, it's a bleak abyss. Like after Christmas, January, February, and March can just go die. You know what I mean? It's just nothing to do. It's cold. It's miserable. It's just the time to be alive, at least here. You know, maybe somewhere else it's different. Spring is awesome because, you know, it's warm enough to go out and do things, but not hot enough. I would say like high spring, if spring would stay like in the low 80s so that it'll warm up the water and you could still go swim, go to the beach. But for right now, I'm going to probably say summer.
Yeah, there you go. What are your long-term goals for this podcast?
To get rich.
I mean, to at least make a living off of it.
I'm kidding, Brian. Not that I wouldn't like to get rich.
No, for sure. But just if we can make this our focus, our 9 to 5, or even like 9 to 9 or whatever, man, just.
Yeah, no doubt. Like that's probably the end game is because we just did it to see if we could, you know, if we could do it with The Walking Dead. And then it did really well. So then we just branched out But that'd be my end goal, too, is just to make a living off of this. Don't have to be anything crazy. I don't have to be rich. But if I could just pay my bills and live fairly comfortably, and then this is all I did, and two, the quality of podcast you guys would get would go through the freaking roof because that's all our attention would be on.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we both love radio. We love broadcasting, but I don't think you can ever be truly happy until you're working for yourself. You know? As long as you're working for somebody else. I don't think you'll ever be like totally
as happy
satisfied.
as you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was my focus, man. Like today, after we get done with this podcast, I have to save it, send it to myself, and then I've got to close up my stuff and go to a manager's meeting an hour away. So it's just like there's so many distractions that are keeping this podcast, which is why I said if we had enough money, I would love to pay. I love editing, but it's just something I don't really have the time for. I would love to pay somebody, but I mean, that requires cash, but...
And I mean, not to mention, we've both, you know, said, I mean, podcasting is the future. With radio, what we love about it, they want to take away just the personality in radio.
It's slowly going. Listen to your favorite stations. I mean, unless they are a very, very well recognized on-air talent that just basically the radio station's waiting on them to retire.
Yeah, for real.
If you pay attention, you notice the age of the DJ, it's going away. Like they're taking personalities off the air. If they're on the air, they're very, very short. And a lot of automation is taking the place of personalities. Like instead of, you know, back in the day when a new song came out and it went off, you know, you waited for that DJ to say, that's the new one from Blink 182, all the small things, blah, 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 blah. And that's how you knew what song it was. Now stations will just put tags at the end of the songs. All the small things, Blink 182. And it's like, that's why your DJ's there.
It's just like, I mean, radios, it's a lot like the grocery store business. You used to go to a grocery store, you had cashiers, you had baggers, get you in, get you out. I went to Walmart the other day, man. It was a horror show. It's just people just slowly trying to figure out how to ring up their own groceries.
Technology.
Yeah, there's automatic checkout counters, and that's just the way of the world.
Technology, man.
Who knows what radio will even be in 20 years, you know? I mean, it could be
We're losing that
automated.
person-to-person interaction that so many generations had gotten used to. That's why I say the future generation generation is going to face trouble with social interaction because, I mean, other than the people that you deal with. I mean, hell, now we've got grocery store checkout, which is convenient and it's awesome, or where they bring the groceries out to your car. But that even further, aside from the person that just hands you the groceries or puts them in your car, it keeps you from interacting with anybody.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty soon you'll just getting groceries will be like Amazon. A drone will probably drop a package of groceries off on your front door.
That would be your worst nightmare. For those that haven't heard me say it, JP, is I have several drones and they terrify JP. So when we go hiking, I plan to make a sweet hiking video once it cools down. We're going to go hiking and yada, yada, yada. JP's going to be terrified when my drone's flying around.
It'll probably drive me off a cliff. I mean, those things, dude, don't get me started. All right. Brianne McCann wraps up just saying, JP, make sure you start at the bottom. Apologies, Brianne. I love you, and I will get you on a good roll. And she also says, have a good weekend, and blows us a kiss. And we're blowing kisses right back at you, Brianne. Just showering you with kisses. A golden shower of kisses. We love you.
Yes, with JP. So I love that. Yeah. A golden shower of kisses.
Mm-hmm. Golden kisses all over you.
Granted, she's into that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love kisses?
A good golden shower. You're right.
That too. All right, Jovi Gal, our favorite Kiwi. 17 hours ago, in fact, I know there were things I wanted to comment on from this episode, but I don't remember what they were, and I don't have time to replay it. FML. I think we all know what that means. Lord have mercy.
Feel my leader.
Yes. But you asked me the week before if I'd ever had Taco Bell. Nope, never.
What?
I've only had tacos a couple of times. I'd give Taco Bell a go, though, when they start being a thing here.
I can't wait. I am so happy for you, Jovi Gal. I don't think I've ever been more excited for anyone in my life.
Yeah, man. Jovi, I think she actually snapped me because I was Periscoping making tacos and asked her if they had Old El Paso taco products, and she snapped from the grocery store. They had the Old El Paso.
Sweet.
Yeah, last time I was talking to Jovi Gal, man, she was getting ready to go into surgery for a dog. It was wild, man. She's
hope everything worked
wild
out.
Stuff. I think it's just like neutering or something.
Oh,
so
wow.
Just off with them. All right, mail call. I think I heard JP say he doesn't have any tattoos, so if that's the case, Justin, how many tattoos do you have? What are they and where? If you ask me the same question, we'll be here a while. I have 12 and a bonus question because I don't want to leave my dude JP out other than alcohol. What is your drug of choice for both of you if you're comfortable answering? Me, weed, I call it DAC, and LSD, but only on occasion.
Let's see.
Where you want to start, brother?
Let's start with the questions. I have 5 tattoos, I believe. I was 18 and stupid, just like the baggy clothes, and I got my initials tattooed on my arm as if, to me, then and now looking at it, it just makes me feel like, I'll never forget them now.
Yeah.
But I got that done. I actually got kicked out of my house for a little while because of that.
That was your first one you said?
Yeah, at 18, I got that.
So you weren't trying to be discreet at all.
No.
Put it somewhere they can't see it.
No, I was a rocker, man.
Bam, in your face, daddy.
I liked rock and roll, so I wanted to, have the rocker look. I always thought I was going to be a rock star, but now a strange twist of fate, though. I mean, it was a huge ordeal when I got home. Like, I left home, and there was yelling and arguing, and just didn't go home for a few days. And now that's my mom's favorite of my tattoos.
Is that right? Well, how do you like that?
I've got a nautical star on my right shoulder, a Celtic knot on my left shoulder, which was stupid. Never have a friend that does tattoos for a living because my friend basically, I'm not saying I never paid him, but he did several tattoos for free, and he was really good. Like, he did good work on top of that. But when you get free tattoos, you like to say they all have some deep meaning, but half of them were just because I was chilling at the tattoo shop, and he was like, hey, man, I'd love to do this. And I'm like, hey, do it on me. I've got like a guitar pick with a shamrock because I'm stupid and I love playing guitar, which is awesome. But I was like, I found out, which I did find out. A lot of my family came from Ireland. So I was like, I'm going to get a shamrock on my arm.
Right.
Even though I've never been to Ireland. Would love to go, but have no roots in Ireland. You know what I mean? So a lot of it was just being young, stupid, and having a friend who gave me free tattoos, like my enabler.
Yeah.
I have a cool one on my shoulder. It's smaller, but it's a Taurus symbol, but not like you normally see. I'd never seen one like it before. So nautical star, Celtic knot, shamrock, guitar pick, initials, and Taurus symbol.
You ain't telling about the ass tat.
Well, that's
Don't
only
tell
for
about
your
that.
eyes,
Oh,
JP.
geez.
Jesus, how many times you always do this? You tell people about it, and then you told me when I got it that it was. Don't even get me started.
What man, with tattoos, I'm afraid of two things more than anything: needles and permanence, and that's pretty much a tattoo, you know. So I was always too chicken to get one. And as far as drugs of choice, I enjoy Mary Jane as well, and I've talked in it extensively on hallucinogens. I think psychedelic drugs are a great tool to explore your consciousness and maybe even break into a new realm of existence. So yeah, I've only done LSD once. It was the day after my 20th birthday, and somebody gave it to me at a party, and I just put it in the front pocket of my shirt. I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm trying to hook up with this blonde girl, yada yada yada. I woke up the next day really hungover, found it in my pocket. I was just like, why not? And I took it, and it was nice. It was not extreme, just nice and wavy, and everything was vivid, and yeah, that was it. So,
let's see, because she did ask both of us that, if we're comfortable, and I'll answer. I've never done anything past DAC, we'll call it. That's always the furthest I ever needed to go. But with that said, after a long, stressful day, I do enjoy DAC. Not quite as often as JP, but I'm one of those more. I'm not regular, but just when it hits, you know what I'm saying? Like if I have because I find when you drink after a bad day, that doesn't help anything. It just makes me get more in my head, and I'm more. Only difference between drinking and sober is that when I'm drinking, I might actually play off of the things that are going through my head. I might send a crappy text message, or whereas with DAC, we'll call it some Mary Jane. It actually clears your head. Like you can just watch TV and you're not stressing over this and that. You're just watching TV. That's all you're doing.
Yeah,
so
man.
that's always done it for me. I've never had a desire to go anything further than that.
With weed, I'm definitely a frequent smoker, but I'm not a heavy smoker. Just end of the day, no more work to do, no more going out. Just one nice hit off the
You're like an end of the day, or some people we know are a start the day with, then take a lunch break and go. You're more one of those, it's a good way to wrap up. Kind of like those people that have a beer after work every day.
Right, and I'm not going to lie. Back when, I was working a job I hated every single day, I didn't see anything wrong with a little wake and bake and maybe sneaking some in the middle of the day. But now I have a job that actually fulfills me, that I don't want to just numb my brain for the whole day. But
right.
I think it can also be helpful to the creative process. And look, if it's a weekend where I don't have anything to do, I might stay as high as I want to be, as long as I want to be. But
we can get high if we want to.
Yeah, exactly. We
can smoke the night away.
Generally speaking, just one good rip off the bowl at the end of the day, and I'm happy as a clam.
Yeah, that's about as far as I've ever had the desire to go. And like I said, I'm not downing anybody who does anything. It's your life, your choice. But for me, that has always been,
I generally stay away from pills and powders unless it's just, unless I think it'll make a good story.
I've seen pills destroy too many people's lives.
Yeah,
seriously. And I know that it's not the case for everyone, but I just around here, man, and everywhere, but here too, we see it a lot. So I just really never wanted to even go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, which I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I wish I had a prescription for benzodiazepam, just because, yourself, I'm an anxiety-ridden fool. But at the same time, like you said, people get so dependent on them, and I don't want to need that crutch,
Yep.
So. But no, man, one of these days, once, we've hung up the 9 to 5, we're going to have a nice, psychedelic experience and get you on the other side, once you're no longer shackled by corporate America.
Maybe so. Maybe so. We'll see. Hey, maybe we'll podcast that.
Would be incredible. I'd love it. All right, we are wrapping things up with Caitlin Howard.
Hey.
48 minutes ago. Mail call. I'm curious if you guys have any opinions on the QAnon conspiracy.
Don't even know what it is.
Well, I'll touch on it just a little bit. I just had to get myself out of the rabbit hole trying to figure out exactly what it is. Crazy times. P.S. Package coming soon. Want to finish going through my tubs of 90s toys before I send it off. The new baby might need something out of them. Ooh.
Oh, man. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, but as far as QAnon, that's basically people who say they're kind of in the know on things. Basically, Donald Trump was recruited by elements in the military intelligence community who basically wanted to take back the country from the globalists. And when I say globalists, I'm talking political figures on both sides in the military, and they were just like, look, Donald Trump, I mean, we can use him to take back the country, and
so Donald Trump is a focal point for this conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's all about Donald Trump, and I actually have a guy I used to work with who knows a lot about it, and I want to get him in here for one of our Wednesday podcasts. But it's basically just it was a coup d'état to take the country back from the globalists, and when I say globalists, I'm talking about a global.
Would Hillary Clinton be in this theory? Would she be considered a globalist?
The Clintons are globalists. The Bushes are globalists. People who just want to create a one world government through corporations and through controlling natural resources and all of this kind of stuff. Like I said, Republicans, Democrats, people across the board, and they were just like, Donald Trump is like a wild card. He's outside of politics. He's kind of played with both sides. And he's just our best chance for rallying enough, average Joe Americans to where we can take back the country and stop the endless wars.
Did it work?
Well, I mean, I guess that's for you to decide. I think there's a lot of validity in a lot of stuff I've looked up on QAnon, and
so they kind of made it happen, helped him to get into office.
Yeah, and I mean, of course,
was he in on it?
So they recruited him. Donald Trump back in the early '90s when Ross Perot and these guys were trying to start like a reform party. I mean, he was there on the ground floor of that too. He just never, wanted to sink his teeth in. And I guess things, like I said, in the frame of this conspiracy, got so bad that they were just like, now's the time to pull the trigger, and they talked him into it. And now he's fighting the globalists and trying to right the wrongs. And
very interesting. We'll have to. Maybe we can do that for one of our Wednesday casts.
Yeah, man. I really want to get someone who knows a lot more about it than I do. I think it's intriguing, and I do think there is some validity to it. But I don't feel it's. Dude, it is a deep rabbit hole to go down. It's deeper than the Donald Trump time travel theory,
which we're going to cover next Wednesday.
Yeah,
JP, make sure you get your notes ready. You got that. The other day, I went into Walmart to get some stuff for the gym, and JP purchased himself a nice new notepad. Real snazzy looking. Probably feels good in your hand. So take that thing and put it to use. Take some notes on the whole Donald Trump time travel thing, and I can't wait to discuss that.
I'm a pen and paper guy. I am too. I hate having to type stuff if I don't have to.
I don't hate typing stuff, but I do love the feel of a pen on a piece of paper.
It's just easier forgetting my thoughts on paper with a pen.
It feels more genuine. And it's funner to go back in time and look at. You know what I mean? To read something in your handwriting versus just typed. But with that said, I type a lot. But
well, you're actually really proficient with typing. I'm like,
for those that can't see, he's typing with one finger at a time.
Yeah,
I can't remember my speed, man. But one day when it snowed like a year or two ago, my little brother was at the house, and he's like 19, and my girlfriend had found this typing speed test on the internet, and she's pretty fast too. She was killing it. She works on computers, and then they were like, "You try it," and I was like, "I don't want to do that." I did it, and it just like my little brother don't type fast at all, and it was but yeah. So I mean, I like typing because I can roll with it, but I do like the feel of a pen on a piece of paper, man. It's just the only thing that makes me mad is I try to write real neat and it looks really good, and then halfway through I get lazy and just start scribbling, and so I'm like, this looks like schnit.
My cursive is atrocious also, so don't.
I can't even. Gosh, my signature is terrible. Like, I don't think that we'd ever get to the point where anybody would want an autograph. But if anybody ever did, I would be like, I'm going to apologize ahead of time for this because this is awful. It does not look like an autograph. It just looks like scribble. But thank you so much to everyone for your questions. I think it was a good podcast. I always love these thought-provoking questions. Please continue to leave them. The more you leave, the more you leave, the longer this mail call series will continue. And I'm proud to announce that we just wrapped up our fourth paranormal podcast. A little bit of advance warning, though. Until the fourth one, well, the first one we have a friend named Aaron in, and he only has like one experience. It's not that scary. And I give some of my experiences, which are kind of few and far between. And there are some that are a little scary, but then the next two guests had some really fascinating stuff, but it wasn't really scary at all. And then we had our good buddy Matt Crowder come in, and he's got lots of dark experiences. So we'll start releasing those hopefully next week. We'll put the first one on Patreon first, and then a week from next Friday, it'll actually come out on YouTube, SoundCloud, all of that. So everybody gets to hear it, but if you're a patron, you get to hear each one. It'll come out once a week. You'll hear each one a week ahead of time.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be really cool. Also, don't forget about Patreon. We are getting so close to our 20 patron goal, in which we will be giving away a sweet, sweet, sweet prize pack, a box full of junk that kind of fully encapsulates all things here at the podcast.
Yeah,
some nudies of JP.
Yeah, which I usually charge like 99 cents a piece for. So
and he doesn't give you a discount either. No matter how well you know him, no discounts.
You're going to pay for every inch, and that's it.
I mean, I had so many short dick jokes pop into my mind, but I'm going to leave them.
No, shorten it.
Because you were like, you pay for every inch. And I was going to say, man, a one-time payment. That's great.
Well, yeah, it's 99 cents. You know, you can break it up by inches.
99 cents. So what for per inch, what am I paying, like a dime?
No, that's 9 inches. No, I wouldn't say that. Gosh, I'm gonna have to get the tape measure. We'll fill them in on the next podcast.
Every guy has done that at some point.
Yeah, I have. It's just been so long, and it was anyway.
Yeah. Well, also don't forget, like we said, check out the Patreon, and don't forget that we are available so many places now. If you watched yesterday's podcast, you'll notice that it was a little bit more edited. And I'm going to try to at least once a week for the YouTube podcast to do a little bit more extensive editing on them, just to give you a visual component to go along with the audio. But if you are somebody who listens to them going down the road, or you listen to them at work, I listen to some stuff on YouTube while I'm in the gym, and it's so annoying because my touch screen's constantly taking me somewhere else. So, don't forget, you have the iTunes option. You can go find us on iTunes and just download the podcast to your phone and listen to it offline. SoundCloud, Spotify, soon Podbean and iHeartRadio. So lots of options out there. And we appreciate you sticking with us through it all. Before we go, JP, give them your social media info.
J_Rats on Snapchat and Instagram. I ain't really used much of anything lately. And JPSLIM on Periscope.
You can find me. I'm Justin Lloyd, all lowercase, 2 L's in Lloyd, no apostrophes, nothing. Just I'm Justin Lloyd. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Periscope, though I rarely use Periscope. But once we get back into hiking and stuff, I definitely plan to use it a lot more. So,
and we're going to have to backtrack a little bit next mail call. There was a couple questions and other videos I'm looking at. But, we're wrapping it up. We'll get to you.
Make sure, will you screenshot those at least? So you don't have to go through and search for them? Who were they by? Let's at least give them a shout out so they know that the answers are coming next mail call.
Zekai from Australia.
Okay.
He left one on the unprotected, the asteroid one, and Mandela effect. I don't know if we had any on yesterday's. Yeah, I don't see anything.
So shout out to if you didn't get your question answered, I promise we will get to it next week. I promise. We just had so much good discussion from the mail call. Well, that's why we always say you can leave them wherever you want, and we will definitely try to find them. But if you leave them on the mail call, it's a guarantee we're going to get them. Yeah. So if you leave it on this video right here, it's a guarantee that we'll get to it. But
man, this is our 40th mail call. Can you believe it?
40th. That's crazy. And we do one per week. We've been doing this for 40 weeks. Yep. I remember the first week or two that we did it because I went to the beach not long after that, and I was reading some of the comments. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll catch you next week. I think Monday will be another Patreon exclusive podcast. So if you're signed into the Patreon, it don't matter what tier you're in, you get that exclusive podcast, which is always fun. And then we've also got, no. We maybe still will do the Patreon podcast, but Fear the Walking Dead starts back this weekend, don't it?
Yes. So for those of you missing our regular Monday podcasts, we will be back at it.
So Monday you'll get 2 for 1. If you're a patron, you'll get a Patreon exclusive podcast, and then you're going to get the Fear the Walking Dead podcast. So that'll start back on Monday. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Please be safe and go be nice to someone. It always makes everybody's day better.
Yeah.
Not everyone deserves your niceness, but the ones that do, go on and give it to them.
Others the way you want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
We'll drop a Jesus goodness.
Was it Jesus that said that?
Yeah, it's a golden rule. He's about it, man.
Okay, awesome.
Reportedly, anyway.
Yeah, we'll catch you next Monday. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead.